Hi, I'm Steve from Sounds Heavenly. I make the cables that connect Bang and Olufsen. But today's video is not about cables, it's about something almost as important. I'm going to introduce you to the one Bang and Olufsen book that I believe every classic B&O collector needs. Come and join me and find out what it is. So if you enjoy buying and using classic and vintage Bang & Olufsen products, in here is the book that I believe you need. Over the years, my B&O collection has spread from the early 1970s through to the present day, and this book has been largely instrumental in the choice of the products that I've ended up with. Now, I must say, I've read pretty much all of the Bang & Olufsen books that have been published over the years. You'll see behind me on the shelf The Art of Impossible. I've read Spark to Icon, Vision and Legend, and they're all really great books, but this is the one that I come back to week after week. Shall we find out what it is? So this is Bang & Olufsen by Nick and Tim Jarman, published by the Crowwood Press, and I'm going to explain why this is probably the most useful B&O book I've ever bought. Quick disclaimer, whilst I have the permission of Nick Jarman the author and Crowwood Press as the publishers to make this video, this is not a sponsored video. This is my own copy of the book. I'm not being paid in any way or getting any sort of gift or inducement to make this video, and if you choose to buy the book, I don't get paid as a result. I just genuinely think this is something that's helped me, and I hope that it will also help you. So let's go to the overhead camera, we'll take a look through the book, and then we'll come back and I'll tell you everything else you need to know. The first thing I should say is this is actually quite a small book. So using the Beolink 1000, which I'm sure you'll agree is the universal yardstick of measuring all things for classic B&O, this is obviously not one of the typical coffee table books that's normally produced for Bang & Olufsen products. This is not a book that's intended to go on display and impress your friends and neighbours. This is a practical compendium, an encyclopedia of everything you need to help you make the right choice when you buy 20th century Bang & Olufsen products. On a quick practical note, I think there are about 224 pages. It's hardback with a nice tidy paper dust jacket. This copy has been very well looked after in recent years, but it's regularly used, so I apologise in advance that you may see the odd few scuffs and scratches. And I want to draw your attention first of all to the fact that both the authors, Nick and Tim Jarman, have signed my copy, which I'm really pleased about. It starts, as many B&O books do, with a potted history of Bang & Olufsen's origins, but thankfully here it's not dwelt on too heavily. We dive immediately into products from different years, starting with the early years and then settling into their heyday, effectively, which is where the majority of the book focuses. I thought it was good to pull up here the first true Biogram, the Biogram 1000 in 1964, which was actually my own first experience of Bang & Olufsen. So as a toddler, I remember lifting and lowering the queuing arm on the Biogram 1000 that my parents owned, which got me in enormous amounts of trouble, but the memory of how smooth that just beautifully machined that simple mechanism was has stuck with me to this day, and it's probably one of the reasons that I became such a B&O fanatic. It's good to see here, although I've never yet seen a pair of Biovox 1600 speakers, it's helpful to see that they were originally intended as the partner to the Biogram 1000. So if you want to build up a mid-1960s authentic system, you can match together those different parts and see how they should have looked at the time. We head forward chapter by chapter through the 70s to the 80s, and we're still in what I would call the wooden case era, and it's worth noting here, probably the ultimate highlight for classic B&O, Biomaster 8000, which is universally praised by both B&O collectors and audiophiles. It seems that no one has a bad word to say for this beautiful, powerful and accomplished radio and amplifier unit. You'll see at the side of every item that's described are two little notes, availability and complexity, with a score out of 5. So with 3 out of 5, this is moderately easy to find on the used market. 4 out of 5 for complexity means that there's quite a bit potentially to go wrong here. Not the most unreliable of units, but it's worth considering what's needed to be done when you look at buying one of these pre-owned. So we head through the 80s, the era of cathode ray tube televisions and two-way remote controls. I thought the next interesting point to stop would be Biosound Century. This, incidentally, I've never actually seen in the flesh in the showroom at the time one of these burgundy plum red speaker grill versions, but having seen this one in the book made me want to search for one, and you've probably seen in one of my recent videos I was fortunate enough to find one of these for my good lady wife for her study, and she absolutely loves it, and the colour is a perfect match to the decor in her room. So again, as a comparison, we've got an availability of 5 stars out of 5, very easy to find pre-owned, and complexity of 1. Nice, simple, straightforward, easy to use, and very little to fail on it. As we come to the year 2000, we come to the close of the series of items that are covered in this book. So it is purely a 20th century B&O compendium. So if you're looking for details on the latest products, this isn't the book for you. However, some extra notes in the final 2 chapters I think are absolute gold dust in terms of the information they give you. And I'll give you a couple of quick examples. The penultimate chapter is practical collecting, and this gives all sorts of notes of what to look for in pre-owned items, the sort of things that could fail, and how to restore cosmetic issues that affect different products. So we've got details on how to oil the teak on classic loudspeakers, and also how to remove scratches from the plastic covers of turntables, which every turntable that I've bought pre-owned has had scratches of one form or another, and it's been brilliant using this guide to remove those. And the final chapter is the most useful of all, the system builder. So simply, you will see a plethora of charts and diagrams in here that will help you to decide how best to mix and match different products. So whether that's loudspeakers, amplifiers, or audio or video sources. You can see which video players will work with which TVs, which speakers have got line inputs, which turntables have built-in preamps, which receivers have connections for open reel or compact cassette recorders. It's absolutely brilliant, and this final chapter, in my view, is worth publishing on its own. It's brilliant. This is the reason that I've referred to this book time and time again, probably roughly on a weekly basis for the last few years. And for this chapter alone, I would say that I cannot recommend this book highly enough. So there you have it. Not much bigger than a Beolink 1000, but equally as essential if you need classic B&O in your life. So there you have it. Quite a handy little book. At the time of making this video, this is actually out of print. However, Nick Jarman, the author, has told me that on the 26th of October 2020, this will be reprinted and will be available to buy from the publishers Crowwood Press at a price of £35. So I'd highly recommend it. As I mentioned earlier, I don't get paid in any way if you buy the book. This is just something I think will be useful to fellow B&O collectors. And once you've chosen your B&O products from the book, that's where I can help you. If you've got any questions about connecting and getting the best from your classic or modern B&O products, please ask me any questions via the contact page on my website, which is at soundsheavenly.com. And there you'll find all the cables and free, friendly advice you'll ever need as a B&O collector. If you haven't yet subscribed to this channel, please do so now and leave me a thumbs up, because something very exciting is coming to the channel very, very soon. I can't tell you more yet, but if you subscribe, you'll be the first to know. Thank you very much for watching, and I shall see you in the next video.